operations if you're trying to secure your first Raptor, specifically the Gen 2 Raptor. One, you need to spend an ungodly amount of time on Facebook Marketplace and Auto Trader. Two, and you better make sure you're on your computer, so then that way you can change your search criteria to 500 miles on Marketplace. Once you change it on your computer, then close the app on your phone, open it back up. Now your app's gonna allow you to go to 500 miles. This is just gonna make sure so that way you're searching as much as you can. And basically I searched the Midwest, South, East, West Coast. I wanted to know exactly how much Raptors were going for all around the US, and that's how I decided on what was a good price and what wasn't. Next, you have to decide if you want to go with the warranty or not. The Ford Premium ESP is the way. But then there's other variables that go along with getting a Ford ESP. For one, you got to be under 125,000 miles. Now, that might not be 100% correct. Maybe if you buy it from an actual Ford dealership used over 125,000 miles, they might sell you the Ford ESP. But if you just buy it from, you know, a non-Ford dealership or from just like someone personal, then you're going to want to make sure you have under 125,000 miles. And then you're going to have to get a used vehicle inspection for like 140, 150 bucks. That means they ran it through their dealership, blah, 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 and you're now good to go to get a warranty. That's exactly what I did for this. Once you're squared away with the used vehicle inspection, then you just need to decide how many months, how many years. I went with 48 months, 48,000 miles. I've had this truck for 2 years and I'm close to the 48,000 mark, so I will be renewing my Ford ESP here soon. And if you guys just caught one of my recent videos, I did a video on how I just had some items warranted with this and it paid for itself. When I purchased this thing, it was damn near stock. Basically 2 items that it had: the Eibach leveling springs. These are gonna give you a 2-inch level if you have a 2019 to a 2020 Raptor. But if you have the 2017 to 2018, because those have the Fox non-live valve shocks, they do set a little different. You're gonna get a 2.5-inch lift with those. A part of me wishes this sat up just a little bit higher, but I'll be honest, it has maybe like a little rake. So I think really these fit the 2019 to 2020s pretty well. And the actual ride quality of them, granted I haven't driven this thing with stock springs, I'm pretty happy with it. The second item is gonna be this Retrax Pro tonneau cover. So it came with the truck, and these are actually expensive. I wanna say these are in like the $1,500 to $2,000 price range. I feel like I have not yet found my favorite tonneau cover quite yet. This one is really, really good. It's really close. I would say the one con with it is you have the tracking system that rolls up in bundles, so it's not blocking your rear window or anything like that, but you're losing like maybe a foot of bed space. So that kind of sucks, but for what I do, it's perfectly fine. The other thing that I really like about it is the locking mechanism. You can adjust this, and wherever you stop it, you can hit the lock button, and now it's locked in place. So you don't have to actually open it all the way. You can just keep it half exposed if you want to. So is this perfect? No. Is it up there as definitely one of my favorites? Yes. I still love this one, but I also still love the trifold ones that set completely flush in your bed as well. But there's quirks with that one too. Pretty much one of the first things I did to this was change out the wheels, which that's what a lot of people do. I had just the factory 17-inch wheel. It wasn't even the beadlock wheel, so it didn't even look cool. So I ended up going with a black wheel at first on just the factory KO2 and the C-rated tire. I liked that. I wanted something other than just the KO2 since that's just the factory tire. And then I slapped on these Maxxis Razor ATs. I really, really, really love the way these things look. I like the sidewall, I like the tread pattern, they're quiet, they're pretty light, they look really good, and they perform really good in all weather conditions. But stay with me, we're gonna change something on these wheels here in a second, and I'm gonna need your guys' opinion. The next thing I ended up doing was removing the decals, and I was always on the fence with that because I kind of thought it would look a little bare being that the truck's white, but I really do think it was the move. It just looks so much cleaner. I won't lie, I kind of feel like the hood decals look just kind of a little cheesy. I think just leaving the bedside one isn't that bad, but overall, very, very happy with the way it looks. It just cleaned it up. And since we're talking about decals, I removed the factory ones, but I did opt to add these ones from Rocky Mountain. These just look really clean. I really like how this makes the applique pop. I did, however, mess up the O on my Ford. That happened in the car wash. I need to get that one fixed. And Rocky Mountain actually has the one that goes up here. It outlines the Ford grille. I have it, I just haven't installed it. But these other emblems that we made for the grille, we have the FP, which is the Ford Performance one. We have the Raptor one. Now, I just wanted to make these just for the pure fun of putting a Raptor logo on my grille because I think it looks dialed. But we got these so dialed in, I almost want to say they're perfect. I'm gonna add this one, which is the white back with the black letters. I've actually only sold one of these, so there's actually only been 2 made. This one and someone else that directly messaged me wanting that custom color. But I will link these down below, and we also just added the SVT one, and we're gonna be adding more. And on that note of adding more, I actually have a Ford Ranger Raptor grill back here. So if there is anybody watching with the Ranger Raptor, I actually have Raptor emblem, FP emblem. These are dialed in. These should actually be posted within the week after this video is live. So these are going to be ready to go. A lot of guys have been messaging me for these. The next one I'm working on is the Gen 3.5, which is the 2024, the 2025. I'm trying to get a grill here within the next week or two, and we will have those ready. And just recently, I added a couple more Moto products to this. That's gonna be these fog lights, which these are the NCS ones, so they're a little cheaper, but they still actually work. And this 3-pod layout to me is probably like the best looking fog light you can get for the Gen 2 Raptor. Actually, for pretty much all of the Raptors. I think the Gen 3 you can only fit 2, but don't quote me on that. But these actually work, they look good. I have the 2 white LEDs here, and then I have the amber on the outside. And you're gonna see a lot of people with those fog lights. I just really think that that's the best style you can get. And if you guys follow my short form content, you would have seen that I just recently installed the Morimoto side marker light. These were 90 bucks for 4 of them, and they swap out in like 15, 20 minutes. This one was actually out on mine, my OEM ones, so that's why I just opted to try these out. Since they have the smoke look, they're a little brighter, plus they're actually like a little darker orange, which I like, and they just look a little cleaner. So for 90 bucks, I figured it was worth a shot. Try them out. Just like that, we have bronze bolts installed. Basically what we have going on is these are a simulated beadlock ring, so they're not a real beadlock. It just had black bolts installed from Raceline from the get-go, which it looks good, but I just decided to order some of the bronze bolts just to see if it would jazz it up a little bit. It adds a little to the black wheel that's already dark enough as it is. So if you guys are team black bolts, let me know. This whole getting dark out at 4:30 p.m. is really cramping my style. I know the world doesn't revolve around me, but it'd be a lot cooler if it did. Anyways, let's break down the evolution of the interior after owning this a couple years. With these mods on the interior, the very first thing I technically did buy for this thing was the OEM carbon fiber shifter, and that was because I actually found a really good deal on a used one and I couldn't pass it up, so I just bought it. So literally that was the first interior. Actually, that was the first modification I'd done to this truck at all, because this truck didn't come with the carbon fiber package. It's optional, and it's like an extra grand for that. But if you go the route I did, this is the best way. Buy the OEM shifter, then these carbon fiber pieces. So these are just adhesive non. They're from AliExpress. I'll have the link below. They are 100% real carbon fiber. So I did all 4 of the door panels, and these are a couple separate different links. One link is going to be for all 4 of the door panel carbon fiber pieces, and the other piece is going to be for the one that goes above your glove box. The glove box piece comes with 2 extra pieces, which are the pieces that go behind your steering wheel. That doesn't come in the actual OEM carbon fiber option, but I think those actually look pretty good, and Ford should have included those. Technically speaking, the only piece I am missing is the little sink door tray that slides open. I don't have that carbon fiber piece because I couldn't really source a cover for it, and I'll be honest, that part I didn't really care about as much, and to get an OEM one, it is very expensive. The only other option from that point is to hopefully find like a used one on eBay, and I've even read that taking that thing apart to replace that sliding door is kind of a pain. So realistically speaking, if you just get the door panels, the piece above the glove box, and then the shifter, I think you're good. I added the carbon fiber Tesfil steering wheel off Amazon. A lot of you guys know about these. They're like $350. Probably one of the best modifications you could do to your vehicle that transforms the interior. I love these things. I had a different one in here before. I had the one that's considered a single D, so it would be round up top, flat on the bottom. This one here is considered the double D, and I went with the orange one this time. So that means my center stripe is orange, my stitching is orange. But a lot of you guys have been asking me if I like the single D one or the double D wheel better since I've ran both. I'll be honest, I have another single D wheel that I'm going to be installing here soon. I would say I really like the double D style just a little bit more because it conforms with the top of your dash perfectly. I think it looks super clean in the feel you get from having the flat piece up top. I think it's the way to go, but I'm going to be running a single D here soon. And if I think it's that big of a deal, I'll let you guys know in the future. But for right now, 60-40%. 60% for the double D, 40% for the single. And a lot of you guys know that I love these Android Tesla displays. This is the 14.4-inch display. My Gen 1 Raptor has the 14.4-inch display. And I've had opportunities to run different screens from other manufacturers, and I'll be honest, this is my favorite one hands down. The fact that I get to keep my Ford Sync 3 module, done deal. That's a no-brainer, and that's the main reason why I like this style. Same thing in my Gen 1 Raptor, I get to keep my Sync 2 module, so I don't get to lose anything. That's the main reasons why I like these. There's a newer one out where it's like a 13-inch display, and it actually makes your truck look like it's the 2021 style dash, but you don't get to keep your sync module, and that's the only reason I will not switch to it. If I was able to keep my sync module, I'd swap to it. That's an Android-based one. Then they actually have a Ford Sync 4 display that looks like the 2021 as well, but it's like over $2,000. And I'll be honest, I like the fact that this is Android because I get the App Store. Trust me when I say this, if I had any thought that I didn't like this screen, I would be throwing the OEM one back in here. I've been running this for well over a year. This is the way. Since I switched to this screen, the other phone mount I had wouldn't work, so I ended up switching to this guy. It is a tack form system dash mount, and you don't have to drill holes or put any screws in it. Literally just adhesives to your dash, and it's stuck. It's been through winter, summer, it ain't going nowhere. And right now I'm running the MagSafe adapter, so it just MagSafes onto my case. It works perfect. They have a couple other clamping options, but if you use the MagSafe stuff, this is the way. And I just like that it keeps it out of the view of the screen, so I still get to see everything and the phone's not blocking it. And the last piece of this puzzle was the dash cam. And if you haven't ran one, you don't know what you're missing out on, because not only do you get the security of just, you know, recording front and rear from the cameras, you get to see out your blind spots from up here. And I can adjust the camera up and down to dial it in perfectly. So right now I have it to the point where, look, you can see part of the bed. So if there's a car right here, you know basically that there's a car in your blind spot. Don't get over. That's the biggest selling point to me. I love the fact that I get the camera capabilities, but it's the blind spot that does it for me. As of right now, I really feel like I have my Gen 2 dialed in, but we still have more stuff on the way, and I might give you guys a little sneak peek of what's at home.